Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's time to replace this rear view camera on this L322. It's housed right at the bottom of this upper spoiler here in the back. It's very common for these things to eventually go out. Mine's been having troubles for a little while. When you put it in reverse, the camera just blanks out. It no longer works. So let's go ahead and upgrade that camera. To replace that camera, when you have the hatch open like this, we will have to remove this trim piece. It's not hard, but unfortunately over time this plastic does get brittle and it's just held in by some push pins. Here's an extra piece here I have just to show you how it's held in. So this is the inside of it. There's these clips here. They just push into a lock and clip. But most of the time when you try to pull them off, you can see this one's intact here, but this one's missing. Missing meaning as you pull them off, they do tend to break. So you want to be careful. You can see this one is still intact here. Most of them will break on you. So as you can see, I was able to pull that trim piece off, and I was able to keep all the clips intact. So none of them broke on me. As you can see, it works the best if you try to keep everything even as you're pulling. If you twist it sideways or up and down this way or the other way, that's when these tend to break. Once you remove the center trim here, that'll expose these wires. Normally they're shoved into this hole here, but once you pull them out, that'll expose the wires for the camera. You can see this cable here that'll have to be disconnected. That's your video cable. You have this red and black wire here with the connector going to the camera. That's your power wire for the camera. There's also another connector. That's your power for the third brake light. That's in the upper spoiler. We'll disconnect all those, remove the upper spoiler, and then we'll remove the camera from the spoiler to upgrade it. Our next step is going to be removing this upper wing here that houses the camera and the third brake light. What holds that in is three 10mm bolts. One is here in the center and one on this end. And this one I've already removed. They do tend to get rusted up, so you want to be careful removing them so they don't break inside. With the tailgate closed, we should be able to pull the wing back and up. I will need two hands here, so I'll put the camera down. Again, what you're trying to do is pull it up. That's how it kind of catches onto those anchors. Once it's off, I will show you how that works. Removing this wing, all you need to do is pull it back. It latches into here through these anchors. So once you pull it back, it will release and you can pull it up. And here's our wires, one for the third brake light and the others for the camera. There are rubber grommets. You can take a screwdriver or just by hand. You should be able to pull that through. All your wires should come right through and your wing is a separate piece now. So once the spoilers are off, so I have it here upside down obviously. I was able to pull the camera out of the housing here. Normally it's just as simple as if you look at the bottom of this, there is a Phillips screw here, which I've tried to remove, but in my case that was stuck. It was not coming off, so that's how I was able to drill it, and then the whole insert of it came out with it. So that screw was frozen in the insert, which screw goes through here, and here's the camera housing. And there's an insert in here, and that's what the screw holds the camera into this housing. But anyhow, once you do get that screw out, it's as simple as taking a screwdriver and prying it from both sides, and it will pull out just like this. Now, if you're replacing with an identical camera at this time, you can just completely fish this wire back through here, put your new camera back in, lock it in, and put your screw back in. However, I am upgrading to an aftermarket camera with the parking lines and what have you. I'm going to be using this original housing to put that camera in. Now, mine actually separated here while I was trying to pull it out, but if it doesn't, you could just take a screwdriver and separate the top housing from the bottom. And obviously this stays on to the upper spoiler. It's riveted to the spoiler, so that needs to stay on here. That's what houses our camera. So now we just need to separate the camera. So like I said, mine separated because it was locked up here and it just wouldn't come out without that screw being out. I ended up drilling that screw out, and by that time this had kind of separated on its own. Nothing really holds it. We'll glue this back together. We would have had to taken that lens off anyhow to replace the camera inside. So here's the camera. We're not gonna need any of this. We could disconnect that. That can go in the garbage. Now we can start gutting this end of the camera. These wires we will need to adapt to our aftermarket camera. So we'll see. Let's see if we can adapt them right into here, or we can actually cut this wire out and pull our new camera wires through this. This is the aftermarket camera that I'll be using. It does have the parking lights for reverse. I will leave all the details of the cameras in the description and a link to that part. Anyhow, it does come with a cable. That's your video cable, and you have a power cable. Again, it basically has an RCA style power connections. This is a video for it, and this is the power cable. So it has a negative and positive through there. But I'm planning on not using any of that stuff. I want to just cut the wires right behind the camera here and wire it right into this housing. That way we can keep the other end of the wires all original, and it fits where it should fit. Everything should seal better. Now I've gone ahead and pulled the whole wire out from the spoiler and the housing. It basically fishes in through here and it comes out from below here. Now there is a rubber grommet on this. This is what seals it onto the truck body itself. I was able to just force it out with a screwdriver through here. Now you can remove the ends on it, or at least this cable should go in and out of that easily if you lubricate it. This end can come off. You can remove that and pull it out. It'll be a little bit easier, whatever works for you. But like I said, I was able to force it out with a screwdriver from there. We'll see what happens when going back in. The camera also does come with a little holder. These are usually something you can mount exterior, like for license plate or something. But maybe we can use this piece to mount it in the original housing. Obviously we won't need any of these wires. We're going to cut the wires behind the camera and wire it directly into that housing. So all we really need to do is figure out what wire is what in this original housing, so we can attach that to our camera directly from here. That'll leave this back end of it attached and everything and sealed properly, and everything should plug in the way it should that way. Go ahead and snip this end off, and we'll do the same thing with our new camera, and let's see if we can get these spliced in. So obviously these two, red and black, there's two blacks in here. One is a little bit thicker than the other. The skinnier black and the red is our power. So these two is the power to the camera, and other are the video cables. So we know on this end, this red and black here is our power, and these two are video. Obviously black most likely will be ground. Let's go ahead and snip this end off. Before cutting the wires on the camera, I wanted to test it and make sure I get the orientation of the camera right, so I know what side is up, what side is down. So I don't install it upside down just to figure out the correct orientation of it, how it should go in. So I just have it simply connected to my TV, since there is an RCA video cable on it, and I've powered it off, just a 12-volt jumper. And seems to work good. Usually they are marked. This has a little dimple right on top, so we need to make sure that stays up. So if yours is not marked, you want to obviously plug it in, figure that out, and mark it. So we know which way this goes now. We can chop the wires and we'll figure out what wire goes where. So after cutting the wires on the camera, essentially you only have 3 wires. Yellow being the video, red is power positive, black is power negative. Now our original Land Rover wiring that's coming in the camera housing, you have actually 4 wires. The only thing extra there is the two extra ground wire. Now, the wiring that actually came with the camera, that was power in the video, and then another connector with a ground and a power wire. So essentially that was doing the same thing. It's combining the two grounds in here, and what you had going to the camera was 3 wires. We'll use the yellow to white as our video connection. Red to red would be our camera power. So let's make that connection and we'll button this up. One thing to keep in mind, which I learned the hard way, even though the cameras are advertised being powered from 12 to 24 volts, the camera actually only runs on about 4 to 5 volts. Now if you look at the original power cable, which I've cut from the camera here, if you look at the power cable, there's a connector inside of this. Now this is actually a voltage reducer at the same time. So the camera being powered on this end, this yellow is the video cable, this red connects the negative and the positive to this connector. Then it goes through here. Again, this is a voltage reducer, so you can power supply it on this end from 12 to even 24 volts, but it still reduces the voltage to the camera here about 4 to 5 volts. So essentially we will have to integrate this piece into our camera housing. That way we can power it 12 volts on this end and still get the correct voltage to the camera, which actually works out better because we can cut these wires off of here. That'll give us 4 wires to connect to our original Land Rover wires. So it'll have a black and a red wire for the power. It'll have a yellow and a black wire for our video. And on this end, when it comes out, it'll just have the 3 wires, which will connect right to our camera. So let's go ahead and make those connections. I'm going to try to keep the mount on this. So I've cut it in a way and bent it in a way so it'll fit kind of like so on the camera. That's how it's meant to go on. We'll fully tighten this. So I want it to sit right in the original housing, just like so, and it actually fits really nice. It's all the way into the housing, and it kind of clamps onto the camera, and it sits on the walls of this housing. So that then the camera can be nice and steady, and it doesn't rotate from side to side or move. That kind of mounts it in there. Now the only thing, obviously I'm just explaining how it would work, but I need to take it back out, and I need to orient the camera in correct direction so it'll show the image correctly. So now in the back of the vehicle, camera sits just like this. This square side is up top. There is a mark on here. That's your top side. The rounded side is the bottom side. So I need to make sure my mark on the camera here ends up on the top. So that way it can have the correct orientation for the image. So I'm quite happy with this. I'm going to turn the camera in the correct direction here. Now you obviously don't have to do this. I just ended up cutting the back end of the camera mount that came with this and bending it in a different way to make it fit just like that. You could certainly just use some glue or some silicone to hold the camera in, or even a hot glue gun would work just fine. I was able to cut the voltage reducer from the original supplied wires with the camera, and I've had to trim the ends a little bit just to make it fit in here. There's actually plenty of room because there's no circuit board in here anymore. So I have the camera attached to the front piece, and of course the wires from the camera running to one side of this voltage reducer, and the original wires going into this are wired to the other end of this. So it's basically just wired it in line. Now again, I kind of used some hot glue. That worked out really well. It just glued everything inside of it. And that seems to, again, work out fairly well. I fabric taped the wires going to the camera. Now all I have to do is close this up. I'm going to use some silicone to close this up. And then, of course, I still have to figure out the screw that holds it in onto our spoiler. Anyhow, so again, I'll go ahead and silicone this together. We'll let it set overnight, or you can definitely use epoxy or anything like that, but I'm going to use silicone. That's what was holding it originally. In case I ever have to take it apart again, it'll come apart easier if I use silicone, and that'll seal it, make it watertight and everything. If you feel that your voltage reducer is too big to fit inside of the camera housing, you can certainly wire it in line back here. You would just splice it right into these lines back here instead of inside the camera. If that's easier, certainly you could do that. Now what does help is these solder seal wire connectors. Instead of having to solder the wires and then heat shrink them or tape them, just gets them to be kind of thick. These work wonderful. They come in all sorts of different sizes. Some black RTV, some silicone, and I put it around the edges, close it up, and I have a plastic wire tie or a plastic tie holding it together. And we'll leave it overnight, let that silicone set. So here is our camera ready to go. Silicone has all dried up, and I did fabric tape all the wires to keep them safe. Now, as far as my frozen and broken bolt that holds it on this side, what I ended up doing with that is I have a bunch of these RC car screws here. So I took one just like this, heated up the nut, and I was able to push that right into the plastic here, and it just melted it right in, and that should hold it there. And we'll use a screw with a small washer just like this to hold that in. So now our camera is ready to go. We'll go ahead and install this back into the spoiler. I was able to fish the wires right through the camera housing here. Now all we got to do is get that into position, pull the rest of the wire through, and we'll get this camera mounted right in place here where it was originally, and getting that screw back in here. Now it wasn't too bad to get this rubber boot through the hole here. You just got to kind of bend it and get just like this over the wire, and give that a push with a screwdriver and pull the rest of the wires through. I have our new camera fitted into the housing here with a new screw. The wires are pulled. Let's get the spoiler mounted on the truck. The spoiler's sitting in position. I was able to push both of the wires through the hole, and these rubber grommets are back on. We'll make sure on the other side that the wires are coming through where we want them to. I'm going to go ahead and bolt this spoiler back in. You have all the connections made here with the wires. Don't forget your third brake light. And I'll tape the hole shut. Not necessary. It's just something I had laying around, so I put that on there. Anyhow, we have our 3 bolts in, holding the top spoiler. For a trim piece back on, it's time to test that camera. The vehicle running. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse. Beautiful. Looks like our camera is on. We have the parking lanes as part of this camera. Looks great. Looks way better than the original camera. There is a way to go into the settings on this monitor to adjust to a widescreen or a narrow, and a few other options and settings for the video feed. But I think I better save that for another video. This video is already kind of long. My apologies for that, but I do like to be thorough and make sure anybody can follow it step by step. Anyhow, I think this worked out great. It was kind of a surgical procedure to do this, but it can be done a lot easier. Again, I like to be thorough, and this is how I wanted to do it. So stay tuned. I will be doing another video on going through the settings on this to change the settings for the camera. I thank you for watching.